Hello and welcome to the second episode of Petch Pals. I thought Ross was going to cancel me after one. I'm releasing a clip of Ross later on this week as this is recording with the title, Will This Clip Get Ross Grant Cancelled? So who knows, he may get cancelled by the end of this week. But as for now, I'm still going strong. I have 3 more pals with me. I feel super popular, guys.
Hello.
I really do.
Hello.
So we have got Rebecca Harland, we have got Zoe Jessica, and we've got the main man himself, Mr. Dominic Quinn. Guys, how are you?
Good. Very good.
I'm all right. I'm all right. All good. Yeah, I'm
excellent.
Happy to be here. Yeah.
Brilliant. Dominic, I noticed you've got the Hulk in the background there.
Yeah, my bud in the corner. Yeah.
Well, anybody who knows me knows I'm a massive Spider-Man fan. I've got my Spider-Man hat on.
Love it.
I've got my Spider-Man t-shirt on.
Wow.
So I love geeking out with people.
I have nothing
right
cool.
there.
Yeah,
I
literally
don't know.
all about Marvel. All
I have
about
a
Marvel.
tree. This is probably.
I have a koala.
Oh,
We have a
yeah.
koala and a tree.
Oh, there you go. Your koala can climb
Well,
a tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we
We're
go.
as cool as you two.
Definitely as cool as us. Guys, before we crack on and get into it all, give us a quick brief introduction as to who you are. We will go Rebecca, Dominic, Zoe. So Rebecca, who are you?
I'm Rebecca. I started in the industry 13 years ago now.
Wow.
And you know what? I'm still in it because I still love it. And I always say that if you don't love it, maybe take a step back. And I've done that in the 13 years. I remember I went to full-time work for a couple of years and then was like, can't do this. And I came back again. So yeah, I'm here. I'm loving it. And I'm Rebecca.
The industry has a way of doing that, doesn't it? Like, I don't know if you saw the podcast with Chris Hitchin, the actor from, he's just been in, he's in Trigger Point at the moment.
Trigger Point. Yeah.
He was
Such an
in-
amazing podcast.
Yeah.
Such a good podcast.
And he
So
quit.
good.
He quit like 6 times, he said. And every time the industry kept pulling him back. So, there is.
Twitter was a big one for that because it was Twitter that kept sort of pulling me back because my feed is predominantly the industry. And I'd see it and I'm like, okay, I want to come back in it. But the thing that kept me going was that you can do this at any age. Yeah. So it doesn't matter how long it takes you. It's personal.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. The industry will always be there. It's always been there. I mean, look at the Greeks when they were putting on their shows at the Colosseum and things like that. It's not going anywhere. And I had this conversation with Ross recently about he thinks cinema is in trouble now that everything can go straight to streaming. With cinema, I find it's the experience that you're paying for. It's the big screen. It's the surround sound. It's being able to enjoy a performance with a group of people, hence why theatre has never died. The fact that you go into a space, sitting with like-minded people about to enjoy something unfold before your eyes, nothing beats that. So yeah, streaming services can show all the latest films and things like that, but nothing beats just being there in a cinema. And for me, I really got that, bringing it back to Spider-Man, on the new Spider-Man film. Like, no spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, but there was one moment where the entire screen, and I've seen it a few times, and every time I've seen it, the entire audience just went, and then started clapping, and it was like, nothing beats that.
That's the best thing when you get a reaction like that, especially in a cinema, because in a theatre, it is sort of expected that you do clap for the actors, but in a cinema, not so much. And I went to see Come From Away in the West End a few weeks ago, and it is probably one of the best shows I have ever seen. The actors in that, hats off. They are amazing.
No, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Nothing beats that adrenaline rush, especially being an actor on that stage. When you get that round of applause, it's just like your endorphins and your serotonin just go through the roof, and you remember, this is why I do it.
There's nothing like it. Nothing like it.
No, that's true. I mean, we'll skip Dominic. Sorry, Dominic, nothing against you, but just because you've spoken there, Zoe, you've just done Charlotte's Web. Spider's web. Charlotte's a spider, right?
I mean, yeah. You weren't. Mate, there was logic in that.
There was logic in my madness.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've just done a spider's web. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how spider's web went.
So I'm Zoe, Zoe Jessica. I've always wanted to be an actor since I was very young. I actually saw a local actor in a panto at 6 years old, and I remember turning to my mum and being like, I want to be like him. And it kind of I've never gone back on that. Studied it through school, studied it at college, and I've done a lot of Amdram growing up. But I've really recently fallen in love with TV, film, and like straight theatre, and came away from the musical theatre. Just
before you go ahead there, something I got pulled up on my last time is that I don't clarify what people are saying. Amdram, for people who don't know, is amateur dramatics. Cool. Yes. Carry on. Sorry, Zoe.
No worries, it's fine. So kind of I fell into the Amdram, mainly in musical theatre to begin with, and then Spider's Web was my first real just straight acting production, and that was with the Stoke Rec Theatre Players, because I'm from Stoke-on-Trent, and I played a little 12-year-old girl called Pippa, who loves nothing more than to eat.
Sounds like me.
That's definitely a bit of me.
Yeah.
It was definitely me during Christmas, to tell you. Bloody hell.
Every time she's on stage, she's got a bun in her hand, she's got chocolate mousse. Yeah, it's crazy. And it was the first time I'd worked with adults in a theatre production, because I was always the oldest kind of growing up in the kind of groups that I was with, and I absolutely loved it. And just when we got that round of applause after every night and you took your bow, it was like, this is why I'm here. Because it's just that feeling that no one else can describe. And I think even as an actor, you cannot put into words what that's like when you've worked together on something to create this absolutely spectacular piece of theatre, and everyone's clapping their hands just like, wow, this is incredible. And that's why now my heart is very solely in the straight acting, TV and film.
I love it. I mean, going on stage, doing what you love every night and getting to eat in front of an audience, that just sounds like heaven, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But there's something very unifying about doing, especially theatre, but I find doing any kind of film, short film, series or TV work, you get really close with the fellow creatives, and it becomes like this family, and you see this thing blossom from a script on a page, like if you're not there as the writer, through to the end product. And it's, I don't know, there's something magical about seeing all that unfold.
I cannot agree with you more when you said the word family. It is like just this massive, massive family. I think I'm mainly in acting because so many people have told me I can't. So it's kind of more like, I want to show you that I actually can, and no matter what you say to me, I am going to do this.
That's like the ultimate metaphorical middle finger, really, isn't it? I love that. Don't tell me I can't, because I bloody well will.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
I found it in when I did Fiddler on the Roof, and then recently Spider's Web. I felt it so much in those two productions. It was just a massive, massive family. And, I openly suffer with anxiety. It's something that I suffer with on a day-to-day basis. But everyone is so loving and so compassionate. And I remember doing Spider's Web, everyone was like, try it this way, or oh, have you tried it this way? Give that a go, or let's see what we can do with this. And it was all very supportive. And I will remember definitely those two experiences. It's just a massive family, and everyone who was involved in that, I love with all my heart, because they are so incredible.
It's one of the only jobs I know of where everybody's rooting for you to succeed. From the writer, director, backstage crew, nobody wants to see you fail. And I've worked, we were talking about this before we press record, we've all worked those crappy jobs, the 9-to-5s, the retails and stuff like that. And there's always somebody there that's trying to undercut you, like stab you in the back, like they want promoted, so they will grass on you and things like that. And it's like, no. But acting, when you get that family around you and everybody wants to see you succeed, it's because they want that project to succeed as well. Like, what's the point in wanting somebody to fail? Because it just brings everybody else down. There's no point to it.
No.
I mean, that's what I learned from Act on this as well, because I'd watched so many, and now with the cast and directors and that sort of stuff. Because before Act on this, I didn't even know I knew they were a thing, but I didn't know they were who I had to contact.
Yeah.
I was so lost. And watching this, I'm like, the other day I was watching one, and I can't remember which one it was, but the casting director said, we don't want you to foul. We openly, when we look at your tape, we want you to be the person we want. And
we want you to succeed. Yeah.
It's just like, it makes you breathe a little bit more, and you're like, cool, they're rooting for you, but then when you get that, it's just like, okay, I can do this.
The thing is,
like
I could
warm, fuzzy feeling.
Yeah, I could have told you which casting director that is. I'm pretty good with what people have said on all the calls, because I have to be, but with that particular saying, I can't, because every casting director says the same thing. Everyone, we want you to succeed. We want you to be the best. We want you to come in and nail that audition, because it makes our job so much easier.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
Dominic, what about you? Give us a little introduction on yourself, pal.
Okay. I'll try, and I do tend to go off on tangents. It's a fault of mine.
And that's Dominic.
But
Leave it on.
No, I'll try and nutshell it. So I've, like Zoe, and I'm sure Rebecca, I've always wanted to be in, and yourself, mate, I've always wanted to be a performer, actor. So I kind of started out doing musical theatre a lot. So I do like, I was with one place that was kind of specific to like giving you like full-scale musical theatre production experience. And then there was also I did the Italia Conti Associate School every Saturday.
Nice.
So that was all day singing, dancing, acting lessons all day. And it was just that one thing I kept looking forward to all the way through the week when I was at school. It just got me through school. And then I got to my last year of school, so 16. Graduate, I thought, right, I really am quite serious about this now. So then I started auditioning for colleges. I went away. I didn't do A levels. I went away to do a 3-year diploma in musical theatre with the Erdang Academy. And then I later decided, actually, do you know what? Because your tastes between like 16 and 19, your tastes really fine-tuned themselves.
Yes.
And obviously growing up, you're not anticipating that happening. So there's a massive shift. And then you kind of think, right, I like musicals. Well, I was thinking, I like musicals. What do I really want? So then I went and did a 2-year diploma with the Bridge Theatre Training Company in acting. And then since then, I've done a few plays. I've been away. I've been abroad on a cruise, and I did like musical theatre-based shows on a resort with TUI.
Yeah.
I've done an open air tour of Pride and Prejudice and Great Expectations. Mr. Darcy's a lot of fun to play because he's a grumpy bugger, but at the end he's got a heart of gold and he's great fun. I've done a few things, but I've always it's always brought me back to film and TV, and seeing that kind of intense level of emotional work captured, and albeit on a grander, albeit further away scale when you're on stage doing a play, like that pure storytelling that you get in acting. It's subconsciously had me hooked my entire life. And like being now, I've been in the community for like, I'm not entirely sure now, it's not a massively long time, but I've just dived straight into it. And either go hard or go home with everything you do in life, like everything or nothing. Don't be dipping your toe in.
But if you're on a night out and it's getting towards the end, I like nothing better than going home. I'm not going to go out anymore. I'm going home. I want to go back to bed.
I'm
normally in bed at like 9, so I haven't even got to the going out bit.
Past that now. Past it.
In respects to alcohol, I think we've all. I think you get to a certain age where you're like, I know where my line is. My line is very, very close to the start line. So
I sniff it and I'm like,
but yeah, Yeah.
Everyone thinks that acting is sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's really not. I'm in bed by 10 with a chamomile tea. I love it.
It's lots of annotating, highlighting, frustration because you can't remember what word you're supposed to be saying, and just all round love of that, as opposed to let's go get pissed. It's not. It's not. That's where people are going wrong.
Yeah.
Especially like during college days and whatnot. It's like, no, the work you do here will form the foundation of what you will become as a professional.
No, exactly.
I think it's not stressing too much about it as well, because I know that I think it was David Carpenter that came on the other day when he was saying about an hour a day.
Yeah.
David Carpenter, before we go any further, he was on The Bay. He started off as an Act on This member, like our three lovely guests here, and has now got a lead.
So The Bay were available.
We're here, we're ready. 3 of us are available.
Yeah. But no,
there's 4 of us here.
4 of us. Honestly.
Petch gets overlooked again.
Rebecca meant that. It was implicit. It was implicit.
But no, David Carpenter said that he spent an hour a day focused on acting, and he was studying for his A-levels at the time. And some people panic because if they've got to have a full-time job, I mean, up until last December, I lived alone. So I was paying the £1,000 rent plus bills, plus everything else. I was working a full-time job as a teacher, and I was trying to do acting. To dedicate that little bit of time was hard, but you had to be strict. And I think the big message for people that are busy and are in a plate that I was last year, give yourself a break, even if it's half an hour. But if you're doing it every single day, you're still getting 3.5 hours in a week.
Exactly.
It's not a lot, but you can keep building it up, because look at what he did. He got into the Bay.
There's a book out there that Ross always recommends. I've got it. I know there's the footnotes of it. I've not read the book yet. It's on my to-read list, but it's called The Slight Edge, if anybody's heard of it.
It's on my Amazon list to get.
I've got it on my bookcase.
Has anybody read it? I think that's the question.
No, I haven't read it.
Not yet.
I haven't heard of it, but thank you very much for the suggestion. I will look into that.
This is a book that I recommend all of us read. But basically, the footnotes of it is the little things that you do every day add up to a compound effect.
Yeah.
So eating a burger right now is not going to make you fat tomorrow. Eating a burger every day for the next 3 months, at the end of that 3 months, you're going to have put on a bit of weight. So it's what you do on the micro daily that can add up to the macro yearly or 5 yearly or whatever. So doing a little thing every day is better than doing nothing and just doing one massive thing. Do you know what I mean? It's like forming a habit.
Yeah. It's so overwhelming otherwise. You feel like you're a fish in the sea. I haven't sent every casting director an email today. That's impossible. No, if you're copy and pasting, and that's not what you should be doing.
No.
So it's about going, but I cannot wait to email Peter Hunt, but I haven't yet watched enough Hollyoaks to warrant emailing him. So I literally won't do it. I can't lie and be like, I've seen everything. I know the storylines. Yeah, I know I could look them up online, but I actually want to watch it to get on set and then be able to do it. But
have you
do your research.
Have you even reached out to Peter Hunt at any point?
He's liked 2 of my tweets in the past week.
So the fact that we've had Peter Hunt on several times. Peter Hunt, for those who don't know, is the casting director for Hollyoaks, is the head of casting for line pictures in general. So it's not just Hollyoaks he does other things as well. He's a good friend to act on this. He's been on several times.
Amazing. He's such a nice person.
You can.
So genuine.
Yeah.
He is. You can reach out to Peter Hunt now and say, I've watched all your episodes that act on this. I particularly liked this one bit that you said.
Yeah.
And that is enough reason for you to reach out to Peter Hunt.
Okay.
So you want to go forearmed. It's better being forearmed than forewarned. But there's other ways around it as well. It's like I was saying on the last Petch Pals, if there's 1,000 ways to get a job, if you're just doing the one thing, you're missing out on 999 other ways of doing it. So
I've always been someone that's like, I can't lie, I'm going to have to watch it and then email. So I've literally everyone I've emailed, I've watched stuff they've done, so I could have a genuine chat. But no, you're right, I could definitely do that with Peter.
Excellent. Quickly, because like that went into a bit of a tangent and I love it. How did you all find Act on This? I'm always interested to hear how you came across the community.
Okay.
It was defo Twitter for me. I found it during lockdown, the first lockdown, and I had it for a few months and then I literally had no money. I couldn't do it, and I wasn't going to ask my parents. I'm a very stubborn person. It's like, I will do it out of my own money. So I stopped, and then I built up enough money from teaching, and I rejoined in about November, December time last year.
And what was it on Twitter that you saw?
Just posts of people that were like, Act on This, like hashtagging it, and I was like, what is Act? Like, what is this? And I was looking at it all, and I saw some of the clips that you do, like the short clips saying this is what's coming up, get the full membership, and I was like, oh, it's a lot of money. But then Molly said on the last Petch Pals, when she was like, F it, I'm going to invest in myself for that weekend, and I'm like, I literally went, F it, I'm going to invest in myself, because how many coffees do I go out and buy? How many times do I go and get a Wimpy? And I can't keep doing it. Wimpy is legendary.
Are they still about?
Yes, they are. A bender in a bun is the most classic thing you could ever get. Tangent.
What is a Wimpy?
Is that an American thing?
It's a fast food joint. It's like a burger joint.
It's Google it. Google Wimpy bender in a bun.
Wimpy what in a bun?
Bender in a bun. It's like a hot dog sausage in a burger. Oh my god, it's amazing.
I'm honestly a vegan here, mate, so not for me.
They do vegan stuff.
I mean, flexitarian.
Okay.
That's a whole different conversation.
It's also nice.
I mean, I'm not shaming Wimpy. I've just never heard of them. I'm like,
go and find one. Honestly,
it's been around for time.
Well.
Has it?
It's been around for time.
I feel really out of touch now.
It's beautiful.
So do I.
So Rebecca found us through Twitter. Dominic, how did you find us?
I I'm totally making up, but I don't know what Wimpy is. No, I didn't know what Wimpy was. I saw posts of Act on This on Facebook, and it would have been Facebook. And it was kind of Ross going, "Hi guys," da 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 da, and I kind of, if I'm honest, you see lots of people doing that, and my mum's always gone, "Don't believe in opportunities on social media, that kind of thing," because everybody knows one person that's been stung by something like that online. So I kind of went, it's my career, I value this, the career, I'm not going to take that risk. So I kind of went, okay. And then about a couple of months went by, and a friend of mine went, just talking about actors, like hashtag actors life, talking about, how are you getting on? Because we've been friends for like donkey's years. We went to college together. And we're now, doing the whole acting route thing. And she suggested to me, I've joined this community called Act on This. And I went, oh, hang on, I think I know about these guys. And she said, they're brilliant. Dom, they're brilliant. They're one of the best things I've ever come across. And
yes, we are.
and this friend of mine, she's like my voice of reason.
Who's your friend?
My shout out to Ruth Pownell.
There you go, Ruth. Big shout out to you.
She's amazing. Very, very talented. Hi, Ruth. She's amazing. So off her recommendation, I thought, do you know what? 2021 was crap. I need to make a new year now. So I went, I'm all in on this. So I went on it. And as you have seen, I am like a rash for Act on This, which I apologize if it's too much.
No, not at all.
But no, honest to God, it has literally transformed my mindset. And
we're not even paying him to say this, by the way.
No, literally, it's improved my mental health tenfold. Being on it.
I was in a place of as you say, I was in a place of I am never going to get anywhere, and now I'm in a place of right, Marvel, come on.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? I'm in that mindset.
Mate, I had
mindset.
I had an audition for Marvel.
So I had a self-tape years ago, and I had to sign an NDA, and I've never forgot. I never got anywhere, but I never forgot actually having to sign. I felt so proud.
NDA, yeah.
Wow.
Question for you, Dominic.
Yeah, mate.
Ruth kind of like talked you into joining us. If she'd have given you a link where she could have earned a bit of money, would you have still done it? Would you have joined up under her link and she could have been paid for recommending you?
Can you ask me that question again?
So Ruth recommended you. If she'd have gone, Dominic, there's this really great community. If you sign up under my link, I'll get a bit of money off that. Would you have done it?
Yeah, of course, because she's my best mate. So of course I want, if like
you trust her.
I trust her word. On top of that, if she's going to benefit from me, then I'll help her out.
Do you know that there's an affiliate scheme where you can all earn money?
I
get so carried away, and
I get so wrapped up
I'm like,
in
do an act on this. Go to Chris Stone, he's amazing, and then I'm like, oh, enjoy yourself.
Yeah, just by saying the things that you're saying to me now online with your link, you can earn a bit. And it's not a pyramid scheme. It's not a Ponzi scheme. It's not the reason why we do it. Yeah. All we want to do is spread the word out there, and you're advertising for us. Yeah. At the moment, you're doing it for free. We're trying to pay you to advertise for us. All you need to do is bring in 4 members, and your subscription is free. Right?
That's mad.
You get 25% kickback.
I'm rather shocked by that. That's great.
I've got a great story about that, to be fair.
Go on, Zoe. Tell us your story.
I discovered Act on This. I was doing a workshop called Acting Mechanics that is run by Rachel Shenton and Amanda Andrews.
Rachel Shenton, Oscar winner, another good friend of ours at Act on This. Check out her podcast as well.
And Ross turned up. And he did like a smart goals lesson. And I was kind of like, I was hooked from there, but I never signed up because at the time I was a student, I didn't really have a job and I couldn't really afford it. And then I'd done a show where kind of my morale during that show kind of just went really, really low. And after I came out of it, I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore because it was just so hard. Kind of for me mentally after that show because of things that happened. And I made a friend in that show called James Tompkinson, who was an affiliate of Act on This TV. And so I messaged him out the blue and was like, kind of feeling a bit down at the moment, want to get some motivation. What do you think of Act on This? He's like, go for it. Give it a go. I signed up under his link. I've never looked back. And he's kind of glad I've never looked back because I'm currently paying for his Netflix subscription.
There you go. As long as he remains a member of Act on This and you remain a member of Act on This, he will always get that money.
Yes.
Always. No, it's not bad, that is it?
It's all right.
Yeah,
and that isn't... Go on, sorry.
I was just saying, he's like, I'm using it from a Netflix. Don't unsubscribe or anything. I'm like, well done.
You want to say, can I have a login to that Netflix if I'm paying for it? I want to log in. So there we go. That's how we all found Act on This. I found Act on This in a completely different way before social media, really. Social media was still a thing. I'm not that old. Act on This isn't that old. But it just goes to prove the power of social media. We said it in Petch Pals episode 1. I'll keep saying it until I'm blue in the face. If you're not on social media as an actor, you're missing out.
Yeah,
it's just where the community hangs out.
Yeah, because of Act on This, my Twitter, and I'm quite an expressive person, right? But I'm still not going to say what I'm going to say. My Twitter has exploded. Like I'm just following everybody going, like acting wise. You get pretty much a decent return on all the follows. And then the amount of sharing and retweeting and basically gospel preaching I've done about Act on This.
Yeah.
As if it was the gospel itself, because let's basically face it, it is. Like I'm getting you get a lot of attention for that. And then a lot of people that you don't expect to kind of see your tweets.
Yeah.
And then they follow you. And so like in the space of like a month and a half, I've gone from 200 followers to 500 and something.
Boom.
Like bosh, like that.
Nice.
So I'm and as a social media not terribly savvy person, I'm proud of that. So it's quite good. And
remember, in this industry, it's not who you know, it's who knows you.
Literally.
So the more people that know you and have eyes on your work, which is why we say pin your show reel at the top of your Twitter profile, because directors, they may not be like interacting with you that much, but they may see something that you've tweeted and go, oh, this person's really interesting. I'm just going to check out their profile. Head to your profile. Right there, you've got your link to Spotlight. You've got your show reel. They don't need to go searching for you. Everything they need to see is right there. And I know people that's happened to, and they've been cast or brought into an audition just because they've seen it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an absolute great platform, and it's been very recently. I remember I used to put out monologues and stuff, but I've recently started doing duologues and self tapes, and I post one on there every week. And it is so good because you get people retweeting it that you're like, oh, I never thought they'd retweet it, or liking it, or wishing you good luck, or helping you in the industry. I think I did one of my first ones, and you commented, Petch, and was like, right, try this with your background, Zoe. See if you can get your background a little bit more like this. And each time you can improve. There's a massive community on Twitter as well.
This is it, Zoe. I'm stuck in a grey dungeon. I know exactly what it's like. Like, Ross never lets me out of this grey dungeon. So, you know. You have to make the most out of it. But if you are on Twitter and you don't know who to follow, go to actonthis.tv/Twitter. There comes up a page, you put your name, your email address in there, and we will send you the casting directors. I think it's 50 casting directors that you should be following on Twitter. And same with Instagram, actonthis.tv/Instagram. We will send you 75, not just casting directors, there's directors and actors and other people on there as well, agents, of people that you should be following on Instagram. And, you know, we've done all the hard work for you, and that is a free resource from Act On This if you don't know about it already. So we know how you found Act On This. We know a little bit about you. The topic of conversation for this one, guys, the one that we're really going to delve into, is something that I've been thinking about quite a bit. Before you became an actor, what is the one thing you wish you'd have known? So before we delve into that question, like, we've touched about it briefly. How did you become an actor? What is it that made you want to become an actor?
Mine was when I was in primary school. And you know, the TIEs that come into the school.
TIE, for anybody who doesn't know, is Theatre in Education.
Theatre in Education. They would come in, and it was from when I was that, and then when I went into secondary school, they would come in and do more sort of like topics, i.e. knife crime, that sort of thing. And I'd watch it and I'd be like, oh my God. To me, that was Hollywood. That was what acting was. And that's all I wanted to do. And I was like, wow, similar to when Zoe said she saw it at an early age. I was like, that's what I want. And I'm not going to give up. And I'm really determined. If I say I'm going to do something, in year 7, I said I was never going to have a day off school, and I didn't for 5 years. I won a £50 voucher. But if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it.
I mean,
and then when I got out of drama school,
we had names for people like that.
My first job was a TIE tour, and I remember standing on that stage taking a bow, and I could have been on any West End stage because that's what it meant to me. I'd achieved something that when I was 6, 7, 8, that early, was going, that's what I want to do.
Yeah,
nice. Dominic?
I've completely lost the tangent. I'm such an amazing story.
How did you get into acting?
Thank you. Sorry, mate. Right, and
never getting Dominic back on again.
Please do every week. Just do it with him, co-host.
I get more out of the Hulk behind him than I do Dominic.
Oh, mate. Yeah. But blood from a stone, me, honest to God. Right. So, the moment I knew that I was like, okay, was I was 8, and I was sat in the lounge. It must have been Christmas. And Mum was in the kitchen doing something, and my sister and my brother were playing in the garden. And of all things on television, it was Mary Poppins.
Nice.
And me and my dad were sat in the lounge watching Mary Poppins, specifically Dick Van Dyke doing his thing. and I was just in awe of the man. Like, yeah. And then I just turned to Dad and I said, Dad, is that his job? And he went, yeah. I went, no, right, okay. Because I didn't believe it. Okay.
Yeah, but what else does he do?
But wait, does he get paid to do that? And my dad went, well, yeah, that's his job. He gets paid to do that. Yeah. I'm doing that then. That's it. I'm sorted. So, and then as you said, Rebecca, I left secondary school wanting did 3 years of musical theatre at Erdang, came out of that. I was very lucky because shortly after I graduated, I went straight into an off-West End musical of Kiss Me Kate. And I was one of the gangsters in Kiss Me Kate, which is a really fun role.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is kind of, I'm not going to do a tangent thing. That is the moment where I kind of was like, penny drop, I'm doing this with my life, end of.
Okay.
And then obviously as time goes on, you mature, your tastes mature, and then you get into stuff like Shakespeare and Ibsen and Miller and film, and yeah, you kind of know what your thing is.
Yeah. Zoe, what about you?
Like I mentioned at the start, I was watching a panto. Johnny Wilkes. He has
my sister trained at Wilkes Academy.
Yeah, he's friends with Anton Deck as well.
Yeah, no, my sister trained at his school.
Wilkes Academy. Yeah. Well, I saw Johnny Wilkes, and in that moment at 6 years old, I was like, how is he captivating this audience? How can he, like, there's so many people here, and he has this attention of everyone. He can make them laugh, he can make them cry, he can make them feel something. I was like, wow. And as I grew up, and I kind of got really enthralled with the Hunger Games was a massive thing for me. I loved watching the films. Jennifer Lawrence, Josh Hutcherson, just the connection that they had on screen. And then kind of growing up studying plays, you know, because obviously you do it with GCSE English, A-level English. I studied, you know, the Scottish play Macbeth and Spectacles. And kind of as I was delving into different things and these stories, I thought, wow, these are stories that need to be told. And these are stories that I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was in that moment where I went, I want to tell these stories because they're stories that society need to hear. And I want to be part of that. And I think it was always, with everything that I've ever watched, there's always been a moral message behind it. And every single thing I've been hooked on, there's been a moral message behind it. And I think in my head, all that I want to do is I know that that character is real to someone. Mm-hmm. And that character, whatever that character's feeling, is real to someone. So it was kind of like a helping hand, and knowing that if I could be those characters, that I could reach my hand out and say, you're not alone, to an audience member. I'm feeling this too. If this character can do it, you can do it too. And it was just this sense of I can help people through doing this and getting lost in these worlds. And I think it was, like I say, from Johnny Wilkes and growing up with Jennifer Lawrence, other amazing actors, too many to mention off the top of my head, and how they connected with each other on screen and told these stories that inspired me. I think each time it was just another inspiration to be like, this is what I want to do, because I want to let people know they're not alone.
Well, may the odds be ever in your favour, Zoe.
Yeah.
Well, you will continue on to do that.
Well said.
So, see, Ross would never have got that. He doesn't know popular culture at all. Everything that's popular culture from Act on This comes from me.
So he wouldn't even know, like, Avengers Assemble?
No.
You must know that.
No. I don't even think he's seen a Star Wars.
Why
anyway,
sit him down, take him through the MCU, mate. Just take him.
I'm trying. If it's
Ross, you need to watch the Hunger Games. You need to watch it.
If it's not Pokemon or
I love Pokemon.
Internet money,
yeah,
he's not bothered.
That's such a nostalgia trip for me, Pokemon. Oh my god.
So back on to track.
Tangent.
We do this a lot on this one, I found. What one thing do you wish you had have known before you became an actor? Whoever wants to go first.
I think for me, it's a big thing about fear.
Okay.
Excuse me.
What about fear?
Okay. Without turning it into a therapy session, I think it's...
That's what we're here for on Act on This. It's all therapy.
Just listen to me. I think it's a thing about realizing that fear isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Fear is trying to let you know that you want more, or you want change, or that there is something that it's trying to tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
Not just run away from that thing. It's trying to say something else, and you just need to listen to yourself. And I think in relating that to the industry and therefore your question, it's the concept that you need to stop being so scared that that all these industry people that have climbed this ladder and they're in the position they're in are somehow these wolves that are going to tear you to pieces, because they're not. They're actually normally 90% of the time, and Act on This has proven this, very, very, very bloody lovely people. Mm-hmm. So just stop being so scared and just throw everything you've got out there in a relatively dignified way. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's funny. It's funny how you compared the industry casting directors and the gatekeepers, so to speak, as wolves. And then you go on about fear. Fear is a primordial set in our brains that we've had since cavemen or cavewomen. And in those times, it was there to say, big bloody dinosaur, run. It was there to keep you alive. It was the flight or fight response. That is the main purpose of fear. It's to take you out of harm's way. We don't live in that society anymore. We don't have to be scared of what we could eat could kill us. What could come through that bush could eat us. So fear now is playing a different role in ours. It's still trying to protect us, but we as a society, we as human beings have evolved past that. So anything now that is out of that comfort zone of you is where your fear is going to kick in, and it's just there to protect you. There's nothing scarier, and we've talked about stage a lot in this episode, and this is a TV platform, but there's nothing scarier than going out on that stage, seeing 150 people up to 200,000 people and being like technically naked in front of them and performing somebody else's lines, and you're thinking, shit, I don't want to mess up my lines. Oh God, what if I mess up here? Nothing's going to happen to you. The worst thing that's going to happen to you is you forget your line. You look a bit stupid, but you're not going to die at the end of it. And it's the same with writing to these casting directors. They aren't wolves. They're not going to tear you to shreds. The worst scenario is they're not going to read your email, or they're going to read your email and delete it. It doesn't affect you in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, I'm glad that Act on This has kind of proven that to you, that it's to feel another good book for you to read, Dominic. I hope you're writing these down. Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Okay, where's my phone?
It's just going, okay, I feel that. I know why I feel that. It's knowing why you feel that and going, okay, brain, thank you for that, but I'm fine. It's exactly the same way as your parents going, you want to be an actor? Oh, it's hard, that. Oh, you're never going to make it. You go, right, mum, dad, I appreciate what you're doing. Yeah. You're projecting your fears now onto me. I understand. I love you and respect you for doing that, but I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah.
Because when you were kids, my grandparents, your parents, would have done the exact same thing to you. Oh, you want to be a policeman? Dodge, you're going to get shot. Do you know what I mean? And that goes all the way back to being cavemen. So, yeah.
A really good example of what you just said, actually, is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Because if you look at his journey way back from when he was, Mr. Universe, and all of that dedication and the mindset to become that, you look at some of his speeches on YouTube, which is an amazing free resource of knowledge.
YouTube's amazing.
My God, it is the font of world knowledge. Like, I don't know why people aren't using YouTube as it probably should be used, but anywho. So there's a speech that Arnie talking about, I'm on name basis.
Me and Arnie over here.
Me and Arnie. Yeah, he's in my phone. No, he's not. So Arnold Schwarzenegger does this really amazing speech about how if you want something and you genuinely want that thing, that is your only plan. There is no room for plan B.
No.
Plan A or nothing. And not even or nothing. It's just plan A.
I will agree with you to a point. You can have a plan A and another plan A.
Yeah.
So we've been talking a lot about voiceover, me and Ross, recently again. And actors genuinely say, I want to do voice. I'll do voiceover on the side.
It's a whole career.
Yeah. You can earn good money doing voiceover. You can earn £125,000 for a commercial doing voiceover, one job. So it's not I'll do voiceover. No, you do it and. So you can do acting and be voiceover as long as you're committed to both of them. You can be an actor and a director. We live in an and world, not an or world. So
that's
you can
love about this.
Yeah. Yes. You can have a plan A and stick wholly to your plan A. But if you're doing something else, like the side jobs, the side hustles that we all have to do, if you're doing that, that's part of plan A. Yeah. It's not a plan B. It's not a fallback. Yeah. It doesn't have to be that.
1,000%.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I totally agree with you, Dominic.
Yeah.
Rebecca, what about yourself? What one thing do you wish you'd have known before you became an actor?
I don't need to be anyone else but myself.
Yes.
Because I think I spent the early years of my career looking up to fantastic actors, like Hugh Laurie, absolutely love him. And then I was like, right, so how did they do it? Okay, so I need to do exactly what they did, but I'm not them.
Nope.
And I think it was only in the past, during lockdown, really, I spent the first 6 months by myself because my mum was critically poorly, so I couldn't go near her. I sat there and I had to do a lot of thinking. I was like, you know what? If I've got to pause acting for a while because I can't physically afford it or that sort of stuff, and I have to do less, I can do this at any age.
Yeah,
I can pick this up at any age, and the amazing people on the platform especially have showed me that it's okay that I can do that. So I think I would literally sit myself down and be like, don't compromise what you believe in. Don't be a yes person if it's not what you do. I don't drink. So I used to always be like, oh yeah, no, I'll have one. Ooh. I don't drink. I'm not interested in it. So now it doesn't embarrass me anymore. And it's kind of like writing to casting directors. I am that person that will want to have something genuine to say. At the minute, I've just filmed a new show reel with Chris Stone, who honestly, he is amazing. And I couldn't recommend him anymore. He did a show reel surgery with Ross, I think the one before the one that's on now. And I have never met someone that cares so much about every word. And I was, so quick one with Chris, you get an edit at the end of obviously your show reel and everything. And I felt confident enough to go back and ask a question. And he was like, absolutely, let's discuss it. And then we got the final edit. He's not someone that would be angry that you're questioning anything. Like it's your mind that puts the industry in a certain perspective, not the industry.
Yeah.
It's certain people that have bitched and moaned about certain things, and then you're taking that on, that's a thing, that's an experience. Everyone's allowed a bad day. It happens. But I'm the first person to apologize if I've done something wrong. And I think that's exactly what the industry is like. Everyone is just a person. So I'd just say my advice to myself and to everyone else is chill out. When I used to go to an audition room, people would go, oh, what have you been in? And I'd be like, I've done a tour and I was an extra on the... I went to an audition, Lonesome Workshops the other day, and it was really good. And someone went to me, what have you been in? I was like, oh, naff all, mate. I went, but I've been working a lot on acts on this, and I've been grafting. I was like, so fingers crossed, like I'm actually just doing some sort of bit of work on me as an actor. I didn't feel the need for the first time ever to go, I was in a tour in 2018. It's 2022. Like,
here's the thing. What are you if you're not an actor?
I think I've only this year, 2020, we're only in February, when people say, what do you do? Gone, I'm an actor. Before, I would say, I'm a coach, I'm a teacher, I'm a this and an actor.
Does acting define you?
No.
Is all you are?
No occupation should ever define who you are. You are Rebecca, exactly. You are Zoe, you are Lee, I am Dom.
So you know what? Acting is something that I am madly in love with, and that's what it is. It's the one thing I will talk about with that, and food I will talk about with a passion.
Yes. You and I get on very well.
Like literally any casting director, I'll be like, what food do you like?
But this is it. Let's bring it back to that whole, what have you been up to?
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't have to make it about acting.
It's not I'm sorry, I haven't done anything.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't define you. No. You being an actor, working or not working, you're still an actor. actor.
Yeah.
But do you know what? I tell you what I've been doing. I've had this amazing Wimpy burger. Do you know Wimpy is still a thing?
I've said that so many times to people.
Do you know what I mean?
It's a glorious thing as well.
But that makes you stand out. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I've been doing this thing and that. And then,
the things that you do outside of acting, make you a better actor. Hands down. So taking time for yourself.
Be you. I think it's about for me, I've realised in the latter stages of my 20s, well, it is the latter stages of my 20s, that
back when I was your age.
It's when they don't ID people with a 1 in front of their ID anymore. I'm like, oh my goodness. Anyway,
I don't get ID'd.
I got ID'd for non-alcoholic wine the other day.
I got ID'd on my 37th birthday. I'm well happy.
What? I thought you was in your 20s.
I'll take that.
I'm 19 and I don't get ID'd.
Excellent.
I give it to them. I force them to look at it.
You'll get to a point where you're like, but anyway, I would say it's meeting people. I've got a couple of workshops planned in, and I'm not doing the workshops to meet people to get something from them. No. I'm doing the workshops because I'm like, okay, you know what? I haven't got anything booked in. I'm looking for an agent. I'm doing that sort of stuff. So let me get in the room so that when that self-tape comes in, I've got it. And when I went to the workshop last week, the guy had such passion, Niall from Lonesome Workshop, such passion in the room. He was like, look, if you know your character enough, you'll just do it, which is exactly, I think, what Peter Hunt said the other week when he said, people get their slides the night before, they look at it in the makeup chair, but they know their character enough that the words are going to come out. And honestly, that is a thing. Like, if you know it and plan it, what's that character just done? It doesn't matter if that's not what the script is. The way I performed the other day, I flipped it completely and I didn't notice anyone else around me because I was just in this character. Yeah. And whether I got a job, an agent, a £20 million deal, that minute, I loved what I was doing.
I like what you said there, that you're doing the workshop not to get anything out of anybody else.
No.
Always go without expectation of like anything. Just go for you. And the fact that, all right, you may not have an agent at the moment or whatever, you still have to be match fit.
Yeah, you've got to
self-tape comes, you've got to be able to hit the ground running and go nail that character.
It's even like Helen Flanagan, like she still does workshops. She may have been on Corrie for X amount of years. She's done so much stuff, but she still works her craft. It's not right. You get Emmerdale and then you stop. No, develop. No. Like obviously on the show, you'll be doing amazing things, but never stop working.
Well, it's a muscle, isn't it?
It is a muscle. Yeah. You wouldn't go to the gym, do one sit up and go, right, 6-pack, where are you?
All of a sudden,
I have done that.
Like it doesn't just appear.
I'm like, it's there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You go to the gym day in, day out, you put the hustle in, you eat the right things, do the right workouts, and over time you will see results.
But your time scale is different to everyone else. You've got to think, like, when I was younger, I didn't do a lot of acting. I just went to drama club at primary school, at secondary school, because it wasn't a thing in my area that we had a lot of resources that we could do that. So just don't, if you are in a situation where you either don't have the funds or don't think that rules you out. Look at David Carpenter. He took shots in a park and then he scrambled a little bit of stuff on his phone and sent it out to people, and people like him. So there is an expectation. If you can get your headshots, get some. If you can go to Chris Stone, go to Chris Stone.
Yeah.
If you can't, that doesn't mean you're not going to get in the bay. It doesn't mean you're not going to get anything. You can do it.
There's a phrase I like to say, and I'll say this before we come to you, Zoe, and I say it to everybody. If you want it bad enough, you will find a way. If 100%. You don't, you will find an excuse. How badly do you want it?
Yeah,
definitely.
Zoe, what about you? What one thing do you wish you had known before you became an actor?
I had so many great answers, but I think the one that really sticks out to me is the only person who needs to believe in you to succeed is yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that comes from growing up, in school. I was always in the school plays. I was always, the lead, in school plays because, I worked at it. If we had an audition, I'd take it seriously. And, all my friends were like, you really want to do this as a career? Like, you're so good at science. Go and be a paramedic. Go and, you know, be a doctor on a helicopter, you know, because you can save lives. It's like, well, no, this is what I want to do. And kind of growing up, I've always been told to go and do something else and that I will never get there, and that things that I've done are wrong, or the way I've played that character is wrong. And because I am such a people pleaser by nature, I would take that to heart all the time. If someone says you are rubbish and you need to sort that out, I'll listen to that over the 99 people who've watched that same show and said, oh my gosh, you're going somewhere. And I think I've always been a person to look out for belief and know that other people believe in me, because I've always kind of been that person who's never really had it in myself. And it's something I'm still working on. You know, it's a working thing that I'm still working on day to day. You know, some days I'm good at it, some days I'm not, you know, at managing it. But I think it's knowing that if you want something badly, you can do it on your own.
Yeah.
You don't need to go to drama school like everyone's telling you to and be so much in debt by the end of it. Instead, I've chosen to have an Act On This monthly membership, and I'm spending less than, well, not even that amount of money, but I'm learning so much more.
Better than any drama school does.
Yeah. And I'm using that as my education. Act On This is my education. So I treat it as, when I get up every day, as if I was in drama school. What have I got to do today based on what I've learned on Act On This? That is the education that I have chosen to do, you know, to kind of get somewhere in this industry. And so people say, oh, you need to go to a Legion drama school. I used to be so much like Rachel Berry from Glee. Like, she was always like, I need to be in drama school. That's the only way I'm going to do it, you know. And then she, you know,
she dropped out, didn't she?
Yes, I think she never got to the end actually of Glee.
It's good.
I stopped. Yeah, I stopped when
I'm a Gleek.
Yeah, no, I stopped when Finn died. Yeah, I stopped when he died in real life.
Sad moment, that.
No, I stopped when he died in real life. I was like, no, I can't do it. Corey Monteith was such a great actor. But no, I always used to like be so much like Rachel Berry. Like, if I don't get into drama school, I'm never gonna make it, because that's what other people were telling me. But since being in this community, you're told no matter where you come from. You know, I'm a girl from a place called Madeley in Stoke-on-Trent that no one's ever heard of. But just because I'm a girl from Madeley in Stoke-on-Trent, where many people have never heard of, doesn't mean I can't be Zoe, who is on Emmerdale, or Zoe, who's got an episode in the Bay. That doesn't matter. And I think you grow up around so many people who tell you that you can't and that you're never ever going to do it. And when you're involved in things, you have directors who tell you can't do it, directors who tell you you've done something, directors who throw things your way that are like, I'm sorry, what are you doing to me now? Like, you know, growing up in Amdram and stuff like that. And it really, really kind of debilitates you. And you think, you know, maybe they're right. But I'm slowly growing to believe that if I want this, if I, Zoe, want this, I Zoe, can get this.
Yeah.
I don't need, you know, what does Ross say? I don't need Actor Pants 241 to tell me that I can do it. I don't need this koala here to tell me that I can do it. You know,
cute,
all I need.
If he spoke, that would be very impressive.
Yeah.
Depending on if it was the middle or not, then it'd be scary.
Then we'd be having a stern word, I think.
Yeah.
So but the things I'd like to pick up on there, Zoe, is a couple of things. No one cares about your business, your career. No one, and I mean this with the kindness I can muster in my heart. No one cares about you. No one gives a shit apart from you.
Yeah.
No one can. My agent can't care about my career more than I care about it.
Yeah.
My fiance can't care about my career more than I care about it. Do you know what I mean? Ross can't care about my career more than I care about it. So I've got to be the one that puts in the work there. And that's exactly what you're saying. It doesn't matter who left, right, and center is saying anything, as long as you care about your career and you're doing the work that you think you need to do in order to get the career and the accolades that you want, that's all that matters. And, you know, fair play for you for doing that.
Yeah.
But the other thing on that is you get these people who are saying you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. We're not in an industry where right and wrong exists.
Exactly.
We're not in a mathematical, scientific kind of industry where 1 + 2 = 3. It doesn't. My favorite show, you might hate. My favorite actor, Rebecca, might not be able to stand. Now, doesn't mean that I'm right and Rebecca's wrong. It doesn't mean Rebecca's right and I'm wrong. It's everything about this is subjective. And that's what makes this industry hard, but it's what makes it so exciting as well. Because, you know, there's an abundance of success out there for everybody who's willing to take it. Yeah. And, you know, just because you like this one thing or you like to perform this one way, all right, that director may not have liked that, but the next director may love it.
Yes.
And that's your time to shine.
Yeah.
And yes, you are a girl from Stoke that, you know, not many people have heard from. I know another girl from Stoke who won an Oscar.
Yes.
You know, honestly, it doesn't matter where you're from.
Yeah, it's just irrelevant, isn't it?
Who you are.
Completely irrelevant.
Exactly. You've got to do you in this industry because at the end of the day, that's all you have. Yes, we have this wonderful community here of Act on This where everybody is so supportive and wants you to succeed. It's like that family that we were talking about at the beginning of your cast members. We are your cast members. We want you to succeed. And everything that we say will always be there to help you. And I mean this to everybody watching this, will always be there to help you in your career. But you've got to take ownership of that as well. And you've got to push and drive that forward.
It's the same with the drama school debate, because a lot of people, there's some people that are on one fence that go, you don't need it. I went to drama school, but not your stereotypical. I went to somewhere called Rose Bruford and I did a course called ETA, which was European
Theatre Rose Bruford.
And you know what? ETA reminds me of Act on This so much because we never got a set, we never got costume, we never got funding, we didn't get anything. We had to go and find it ourselves and we had to work with other courses. So I have such an appreciation of a stage manager and stagehands, everything, lighting, because our motto was don't be a dick and you'll get where you need to go. Because
that should be everybody's motto for life.
Literally. It's that. And that course, if it wasn't a stereotypical acting course, I was a bit of a melon and I applied for it because it sounded amazing. But we got about 3 months in and I was like, when are we doing straight acting? And they were like, it's a devising course. And I was like, But you know what? It was the best thing I've ever done because in our second year, we went to a European country. I studied in Prague for 6 months. And then we came back and we had to make our own work. And if we wanted directors and casting directors and agents to come, we had to go out and personally write to them. The school didn't do it. At Rose Bruford, you can study acting. You can also do American theatre arts. But ETA was a family, and we are still a family. And it reminds me of Act on This so much. And yeah, there's debt I don't think about, but it's marrying the two. No, I didn't do a lot of TV and film, and I wish I had have done. But learning the industry from the outside in, that I do appreciate. And it is, I think the main thing I want to say from that weird little off point was if you go or if you don't go, it doesn't affect your career. It's down to you. It doesn't make you a better or a worse actor if you get in or if you don't get in. It took me 4 years to get in, but that was the trajectory I wanted to go down. And I was 22 when I went to drama school, but if it's not a bit of you, you don't have to go. Yeah. You really don't have to go. You can still get there.
A lot of drama schools, a lot of the top drama schools out there, you will spend a week, maybe 2 doing TV work.
Yeah.
And if TV is where you want to work, it's not worth $9,000 a year. No. And is it $9,000?
No,
is it even more now?
It's about 10, maybe
10 grand a year.
A year, not grand a day.
Not for the full course. That's a year. Yeah. So it's not worth it if that's what you want to do, TV and film. Yeah. If you want screen training, you need training. Everybody needs training. There's classes out there. Act Up North, Act for TV are the ones that I recommend. I've been to, brilliant. But there are other ones out there. You need to train, but you don't need drama school. No. And the other thing I found about drama school, a lot of them, they don't teach you the things that Act on This teach you. I'm not saying that we're the best. Yeah. I'm not saying that at all. But we teach you a side of the industry that is more than just technically acting. Do you know what I mean? And you need to learn that. more so than being an actor. Because if you can jump those steps of just knowing the industry, yes, you need to be talented in order to book the job, but you don't need to be talented to land the audition. Write the right email, you get called into the room.
Well, yeah.
It's like holding a door open for someone. At our course, we would be the ones that would be open sweep up at the end of the night, and you wouldn't catch anyone else do that. And it's just about appreciataing that we caused the mess. We'll help you clear it up.
Exactly.
So that whole drama school thing, I mentioned earlier that I gave it some time, and then I saw another. I was talking to my mate Ruth, and then she said, "Seriously, try act on this."
Yeah.
In the build-up to that decision happening, and just throwing everything I could at trying to make this work in a different way, it was my second plan A, because my first plan A was drama school, because I'd already been to Erdang and then 2 Years of the Bridge, and I was in that mindset, which Act on This has transformed, of I'm not being taken seriously here.
Yeah.
Like I could totally be in a film opposite Jamie Bell talking about the IRA, or I could totally do a film with, I don't know, a Marvel movie and be taken seriously, or I could be in a historical Churchillian kind of thing as a young politician. I could totally do this, and I felt the only way I'm going to be taken seriously, I was reading too much into like the high profile names, like Benedict Cumberbatch and and any big name up there, and I was looking at where do they go, where do they train, because they've got all these contacts, and it's this bloody like, oh mate,
it sets you up. You think you're going to walk out and be Benedict Cumberbatch, and I graduated and I was like,
it's a very
where are the jobs, where are the agents?
It's a very dangerous toxic mindset to adopt. It's very, very dangerous. And so I auditioned for like Bristol Old Vic, RADA, Lander, Guildhall. I nearly auditioned for Rose Bruford as well, but having been told no 5 times by 5 other people, I was like, okay, do you know what? I need to take things into my own hands here. I need to stop relying.
You're the driver of your own career, whether you go to drama school or not. That's a pit stop. That's like a petrol station on a long drive. Like whether you're going to get there or not.
Yeah, and
I think I've learned so much doing amateur dramatics as well, especially at the last 2 things I've done, Fiddler on the Roof, Spider's Web, because with Stoke Rep Theatre Players, they do like 5 plays a year, but you can do different things. You can help out in box office, or you can do prompting, or you can see how the light works, and you can see all these different things and what really makes a show come together. It may sound really silly, but Spider's Web, being in theatre, has really helped me with screen acting as well, because it helped me to find the balance between being dramatic but also taking it back to screen. And I took the character I played, Pippa, and did a self-tape where I brought her really back for screen. And I love just experimenting with the two, and which is why I think, honestly, I'm not going to go to drama school. I'm going to stick with Act on This, treat it like my education, make my endless notes, buy these endless notebooks that I'm going through and all these pens that I've run out of ink, because it's working, and being part of something local, the rep theatres on my doorstep, with people who get me and get who I want to be and support me in that.
You got to know that you're good enough.
That's better than any drama school.
At the end of the day, experience is experience, and you can't buy experience. No matter where you get it from. Like people say, don't work for free. I say work for free if it's the right thing. Yeah, you'll learn so much. You'll learn about what other departments do. You'll learn what a DOP is. You'll learn what a grip does. You'll learn what a director does. You'll get experience on set. You'll know how to change your performance for a wide to a close to a mid. Experience is experience.
It's about, I think it's about helping people.
As well.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's going. Can you? Yeah, because like when I watched the Act on This with the David Carpenter the other week, I sat there and I went, you know what? I'm going to be not just a person that pops up and asks the question, because half the time I'm like, what can I ask just to get on screen? But I'm actually going to be on one. Hence, Benose, Petch goes into Twitter and sends me, it was like a pinch me moment. I was like, sorry, have you messaged the wrong person?
Yeah.
And I think we said before the call, I was like, we were about 10 minutes into just having a catch up, and I was like, sorry, you can hear what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you've asked me to be here all day. The critical voice in my head was going, But I haven't been in anything. I haven't done anything. Why is he saying that?
I will only get on the most supportive, positive people on Petch Pals. And do you know what? I don't think there's one person in the acting this community that isn't that. So you know what? It's an honor for you guys to spend your time with me rather than the other way around. I appreciate you guys so much. Talking about David Carpenter then, we will wrap up with this question that I started last time. I'm going to carry it on. I think I know yours, Rebecca. But quickly going around, which one feature of Act on This do you like the most, or would you most recommend to other people?
You know what? Mine is the podcast, because when I'm out and about, when I'm watching the ones...
Yeah, but which one?
Oh, which one? Oh, there's so many.
There is.
That's
it. Which one, which webinar or whatever, which one would you recommend to people?
You know what? I would recommend any with Peter Hunt or Chris Stone. I know I've answered two, but if you want an idea of what casting directors are like, every single one of them I've watched, they're fabulous. But with Peter, he was talking to Ross, but I felt like he was talking to me, and I feel like I could do that. And oh my God, the Bodhi Talent one. Oh, I'm awful at answering one question. I emailed Archie and Ricky, and I was like, you know what? I've been terrified of emailing agents because I don't want to know, if I'm honest, but I don't feel worried. The worry just melted away when I watched Archie talking. And then to find out Ricky had done wrestling, I was like, I grew up watching WWE. I was a Jeff Hardy fan. I was like, you know what? I'm going to put that in there.
Bret Hitman Hart.
Oh, he was good. They are the one and only people that have replied to my email out of the... So I've got a list on Excel of who I've emailed and when I've emailed them, so I don't bug them a lot. And they're the only people to reply. And it was just an acknowledgement email, but I emailed back straight away and went, you know what, you've just made my day because I feel seen. So Peter Hunt, casting director, Chris Stone for a showreel because he's a legend, and then the Bodhi Talent one that was the most recent one that come on. Massive
shout out to my agents, Archie and Ricky. I love you guys.
Such genuinely nice people.
They are. Dominic, which one?
Oh, which one? That's like saying which pudding.
Yeah, I only picked one.
Because they're all... One. I mean, you picked like 4.
No, I didn't. 3.
Okay, all right.
It's like having siblings. I can't control them anymore.
But doesn't that say something?
Make me come down there.
Isn't that great? That's great. Right, okay.
This was only meant to be a half-an-hour podcast as well. Go on.
We failed the brief there. Go on. Right, okay. I would say there is a... Right, because Daniel Edwards.
Daniel Edwards is a casting director. He was co-casting director for Line of Duty, and he's just done something which is coming out later this year. It was, do you know what? I'm not even going to butcher the name of it because I know it's changed, but I know Ross is in it. Go on.
Oh, wow.
He's an amazing casting director.
And there's 2 spots left on a workshop this weekend. Access Workshops have just emailed. It's with Lucy Allen, who's his associate. I'm going. There's 2 spots left. Get on it.
That's if you watch it before this weekend of the 24th.
I'm doing
all right, Rebecca, give me a chance. Go on, Dominic, carry on.
So Daniel Edwards, he did this one where it's like they're both sat at, it must have been before COVID, but they kind of sat at the table and they're
at the kitchen.
Yeah. And you're mentioned a couple of times from behind the camera, bless. Mate, I love that.
Telling you, but stuck in a grey dungeon.
Yeah, he's so he starts going off on like this really infused, creative, passionate wave of anybody can do it, and to put this piece, which is his name, Daniel Edwards, yeah. Plus, he's the casting director of Line of Duty.
Best show. It
was like, he's such a lovely man. I'd love to have a pint with him. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Or I'd love to have him over for dinner. Like, he's a lovely guy. So that kind of realization set the domino effect for every other casting director, every other actor, every other agent that I've seen since. An honourable mention, because I'm going to do it, Mildred Yen.
Mildred Yen, agent.
Lovely.
What agency is she with?
United Agents.
There we go. Just double checking to see that you've actually watched it.
Yeah, I follow her on Instagram. Her dog is awesome. Like,
there we go. So we've got Bodie Talent, Peter Hunt, Daniel Edwards, Chris Stone, Mildred Yen. Come on, Zoe, end us with a good one. Which one would you recommend to people?
I think it's going to have to be, because it's so relevant, because he's in Trigger Point, I think I'm going to have to say Chris Hitchin. I absolutely loved the IKEA table analogy.
Love that analogy.
He did. And honestly, like, listen to, I was in the Spider's Web dressing room when I was in,
and you called in on that one.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you did. It was really funny.
When I came onto that, like, I look like a 12-year-old in PJs. No, but just listening and just being like, you know, being in the theatre, but also listening to it when he was telling about that table, and it was like, I went on stage and I was like, just be unique, just be that unique table with stains. You know, it was just such a great analogy. I think you need to honestly go and watch that. It was so good. But also, I'm going to have to say Bodie as well.
Bodie, more shout out to Archie there.
Yeah, honestly, I think I've emailed twice now, like just with new headshots and stuff, because I just fell in love with Archie.
He's a good
guy. And just who he was, and just how genuinely he talked. And also, I love dogs and kind of don't have a dog myself, so kind of want to adopt Charlie Beagle and Dudley do.
Excellent. Kind of even the dogs get a shout out there, Archie. You better watch this.
100%.
They're as famous as the agents at this rate. Like,
I emailed to the dogs as well. I was like, no, I appreciate the dogs.
Yeah.
Excellent.
At the end of my email, I put woof woof.
I thought I would like to come round and play with you, and then in the brackets I was like, the dogs.
This took a really weird turn.
Sorry.
So I think we're going to wrap this up now. Guys, thank you so much for spending your time with me this afternoon. Is there anything else you want to say before we do wrap it up? Any quick final words?
Just trust yourself.
I'm going to copy Ross, and this is really dead cheeky, but I'm going to do it. Is there anything we can do for you, Lee?
Yes. What can we do for you? What can we shout out?
Petch.
You can hashtag Ross. Well, you can at Ross Grant on Twitter with the hashtag give Petch a pay rise, or pay rise for Petch. I'm trying to get that started. No, I'm only joking.
That will be trending tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I am definitely going to do that now. Yeah.
Hashtag pay rise for Petch. But no, guys, just keep being you. Just keep supporting other members in the community. If I can't get in there straight away, it's always nice to see other members offering advice and help, and retweeting other people's tweets or liking things on Instagram. Just being a force for good in the world, not just in the community, in the world. Go out there and pay it forward. If someone's done something nice for you, do something nice for someone else.
I mean, on that, Petch, I really hope you realise how much everything you do means to all of us.
Yes.
I mean, when I say you made my year by literally just asking me to do this, it's you want to feel like you're seen in an ocean full of a million people wanting the same thing, and that's valid. But even when you comment and you like, and I now, back in the day, I have tweeted or I've posted because I want people to see that I'm there. Whereas now I do it because I love it and you see that I'm there. So to make someone feel seen, which is what you do on a daily, it's not an easy task. And thank you from everyone that isn't even just on this call.
Everything.
It's still like when it's like, oh, Petch has liked your tweet or Petch has sent you a message. I'm still like, what? What?
I'm like, who? What? Why?
Who's
like,
Petch?
Who? like I'm like, and it honestly makes me smile so much.
Oh, bless you guys.
When it comes up, because I'm like, oh my goodness, like he's seen my new self tape. Like he must have I must be doing something good, and that's like I'm gonna put another one out next week now.
Yes, that's why I do it.
It's so motivating. So I echo. Thank you so much, Petch.
Give without expectation. That would be my advice to anybody who listens to this. Don't do anything for what can they do for me. No. I mean, chances
that's obvious
are
with how you do that though. Like the way like I've reached out to you and gone, okay, mate, I don't know what to do here, and you've kind of, and you know what I mean. And then your emails have been, this is how you solve it. And it's like the time you take over one person going, I'm having an acting career problem. It's just it's beautiful. Like it's so it's
you
rare.
Treat us like we're the only one talking.
Yeah, it's rare, man. Like
I appreciate that, and you are. You are my little babies. I'm sure.
In a year's time, should we do this again?
Yeah, let's do a catch up.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, guys, speaking of Twitter, you can follow my lovely guests on Twitter, and I urge you to do so. We have at Rebecca Harland 01.
It's just a zero. No, it's a zero because someone already had Rebecca Harland, so it's Rebecca Harland with a zero.
With a zero?
Yeah.
She's not a zero. She's a hero.
Rebecca Harlando.
Harlando. Oh, that sounds posh.
It's a zero. It's a zero.
It's a zero, not an O. It's a zero. The number zero.
We have at Dominic Quinn 95. Is that correct? 93. I'm rubbish at reading.
I will take that.
93.
I'll take that as a huge compliment.
Why 93, Dominic? Is that the year that you were born?
It is the year I was born.
Can I recommend...
look 40, but it's the year I was born.
I look 4.
As a recommendation, take that 93 out of your name.
Oh, pray tell?
Because it ages you. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And depending on your playing age, you might look older, you might look younger.
I'm a 0.
And people have that preconception already of, all right, that's how old he is. Take it out.
If I get, this is a logical response to what you're saying now, okay? Also kind of personal, but like if I get rid of the 3, because 9 is my lucky number.
Yeah, get rid of the 3.
Get rid of the 3.
Just get rid of the 3.
At the same time, like, why don't you just want your name? It makes it easier for people to find you. Dominic Quinn.
It's such an actor name as well. Like Dominic Quinn, you're like, brilliant, I've got it. Because sometimes people might think the 9, they're like, oh, it's not him.
Yeah, exactly. Have at Dominic Quinn. That's what I would recommend. That is exactly what I'd recommend.
No, okay, I will act on that.
Act
on this.
So, guys, follow at Rebecca Harland 0 or at Rebecca Harlando, at Dominic Quinn 93, at Zoe Jessica Actor, all on Twitter. Please, guys, follow me on Twitter at Petch_act on this. That's my work one. That's the one that I will get back to you on with acting related queries. Or just follow me at Lee Petcher, just for general day-to-day shenanigans or stuff that I like to get up on. Please follow at Act on This TV on Twitter and Instagram, or wherever you may find us. Keep up to date with the latest guests coming on. We constantly put out little clips, pre-advice that we're giving you there, guys. Memes and stuff just to make you laugh. Advice, just follow Act on This wherever you get that. If you're listening to this on the audio experience, thank you so much for persevering with us this far. These guys can go off on one. If you're listening to us...
I'm so sorry. It's probably my fault. I'm so sorry.
See, I'm trying to wrap this up and they're still talking now. If you are listening, please give us a rating and a review. It helps us spread the word to people who may find it. Share it to people who haven't already listened to this. If it can help one person, we are doing our job right. If you are watching us over on YouTube, please, you know what to do. Like, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, be informed every time we upload some new content. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you liked, what you didn't like, whether Dominic rants too much, whether you want to see more of the Hulk, whatever it may be. I look forward to reading the comments and I will endeavor to get back in touch with you guys whenever I can. It looks like the koala's ready to say goodbye. It looks like the Hulk's ready to say goodbye, and the bonsai tree is ready to say goodbye. Guys, do you know the catchphrase? I bet you don't.
Yeah. Oh, wait, what? Wait, no, your one? Or is it
my one?
Oh, no, then no, I would have said rocket.
Is it like... So I know it's you've been a right
okay,
laugh.
guys.
I thought we was going to have to do that then. I was like, no.
This is pressure. It's episode 2. My God.
I know, but you should have watched episode 1. So, guys, I'm going to say thanks for coming, and you're going to say you've been a right laugh. Okay.
I feel like I'm going to have to say it Northern now.
Yeah, exactly. You have to say it Northern.
No
guys,
rehearsal.
Thank you so much for watching Petch Pals episode 2. Cheers for coming.
You've been a right laugh.
Yes!